The bank and police called early in the morning. My father's angry voice came through the phone. "What did you do, Sarah?" In the background, I heard my brother Kevin telling him to ask me again. I sat at my small kitchen table near Naval Station, Norfolk, drinking coffee. I stayed calm. I didn't do anything. I said. My father shouted back, saying I stole his money. I almost laughed. His money. The night before, he had sent me a message that changed everything. It said he was leaving everything to Kevin and that my mother had left me nothing. He also claimed he had emptied a trust fund. That caught my attention because my mother had died years ago from cancer. Before she died, she told me I would understand her decisions one day later. I learned she had created a protected trust with a lawyer. I never worried about it until now. I replied to my father's message with one word, "Okay." Double quotes that made him even more angry. He kept texting insults, but I stopped responding. I had served 20 years in the Navy. I learned to stay calm under pressure. So I focused on work and waited. That evening, I opened a box of my mother's documents. Inside was a letter she had written for me. She told me to trust the lawyer and the documents. I also found a legal clause I had never noticed before. It explained everything. My father hadn't simply taken money. He had triggered legal protections he didn't understand. I contacted the lawyer. The next morning, he confirmed something serious. My father may have committed a crime. Over the next days, everything unfolded quickly. Bank accounts were frozen. Investigators got involved. Then I learned something worse. Some of the money had been moved into accounts connected to Kevin. Kevin called me, confused and scared. He said he didn't know where the money came from. My father had told him it was from my mother's estate. I believed him. Kevin had been the favored child all his life, but he had also been manipulated. Then Kevin discovered boxes of old financial records in my father's office. Debt, loans, hidden problems, everything my father had buried for years. The truth was clear. My father had been in financial trouble for a long time. Then Kevin and I found something else, our mother's letters she had written to both of us before she died. In them, she made one thing clear. She loved both of us equally. There was no favorite child. Only our father had created that idea. Finally, we opened a sealed letter addressed to my father. It was meant to be read only when everything fell apart. In it, my mother explained everything. She knew about his financial problems. She warned him to choose honesty. She asked him not to divide the children. Soon after, my father called. He sounded broken. He admitted everything was collapsing. Later, we met at my mother's grave. My father confessed he had taken money, hidden debts, and favored Kevin. He also admitted he had pushed me away because I reminded him of my mother. Weeks later, legal issues were resolved. Most of the money was recovered. The house was sold, and the money was distributed fairly. No one went to prison, but my father faced serious consequences. Over time, something unexpected happened. We started talking again. Slowly, the family began rebuilding, not perfectly, but honestly. One evening, my father said he almost lost everything. He wasn't talking about money. He meant us. I stood later on my balcony thinking about my mother. She had planned everything carefully, not just to protect money, but to protect truth. I learned something important. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past. It means not letting it define the future. And sometimes truth arrives slowly, but it always arrives.